Hello, beautiful people. Carl here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial.com for short. And it's reaction time. Takedown Festival reaction time. Continuing this little series as we eke ever closer to the festival, which of course takes place on the 3rd and 4th of April 2026 at the Portsmouth Guildhall, with an incredible lineup starting on a Friday at 4 p.m. and 1 p.m. on the Saturday. There's so many great bands performing, and you know, it's been really interesting to get to know this festival and see how forward-thinking the organisers are, in that they're looking ahead and seeing where the rise of bands are, basically. Which bands are going to become big or have the potential to become big, you know? There's an argument to say they were there very early on before Sleep Token really blew up, and they've got in nice and early as President are blowing up. That's the Saturday headliner. I'd say in some people's eyes a controversial one, but for a festival like Takedown, I don't see that. I don't get that at all. Takedown is very varied, and a band like President fit just as comfortably on there as Motorhead's. Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons do, and Motorhead does. You know, there's the Hara, there's bands like that and stuff. Excuse me, my phone is going off. Let me put that on silent now. It's important, but I will deal with that after this because this is important. But yeah. So like, there's a right mix of bands. Lestell's on there, alongside the likes of King Kraken as well. There is variety across to 2 Days Zetra, of course. I'm just doing this off the top of my head. Wargasm, as it is. There's loads, and it's like a scale on the rock, metal, alternative world of the genre. There's a scale here, and Takedown are covering quite a few bands, so I have zero issue. I had no issue when President was announced. I'd heard a few songs. I wasn't enamored by what I heard, but I also didn't dislike what I heard either. You know, they're a band that's got a place. Okay, the mask gimmicky thing doesn't really do a lot for me. The visuals of the band are interesting, but it does sort of feel like trend jumping on more than anything else, and the whole who are we kind of thing, it's played out, in my opinion, particularly as this one seems to be significantly obvious. You know, I'll tell you if you don't know, it's probably Charlie Simpson of Busted fame, of Fight Star fame, behind the mask. And if that's the case, then yeah, you know, more power to him. He's a very talented individual, and this is his new band. They seem to be doing very well. Whether or not, once the gimmick kind of falls away, they'll continue to do well is another thing, because I'm sure the gimmick is fascinating to a certain section of music fans. But ideally, the music will remain. I don't see why not. You know, if it is Charlie Simpson's band, he's proven to be a very successful artist with other bands, and I don't see this being any different. I don't agree with the whole industry plant crap and stuff like that. I find that all a little bit tiresome. Yes, they're being marketed in a certain way, but then that's sort of inevitable. And let's not act like that doesn't happen with other bands as well, that, you know, people are quick to ignore the same thing. It's like, basically, you don't like the sound of President, you don't like the idea behind it, you don't like Charlie Simpson. I mean, am I a fan of Charlie Simpson? I don't really have an opinion at all. Busted aren't my jam, and I never really got into Fight Star, but do I think the man's talented? Absolutely. And he has more than enough fans that my fandom isn't needed. But I am interested with President, and this is going to be my first opportunity to see them. Hopefully, you know, before they really become big. It feels like that's kind of going that way already. You know, we're going to look at a video here, which is fairly new at the time of recording. At the time of recording, it's only been out like 18 hours, was premiered 18 hours ago. So this is a very fresh new song. Already at 118,000 views in 18 hours. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's incredible. I'm saying, like, this is not a small band already, and yeah, they need to release a lot more music, and they need to certainly more, get a few more releases out to really kind of you know, get that body of work behind them. But I think they're getting there, and I think Takedown could be a very special moment, certainly a memorable one for the festival overall. We shall see. But what we are going to do is watch this video together. In the Name of the Father is the song. So yeah, let's do a reaction, a live review to Presidents in the Name of the Father. Some people wear masks to hide. Okay. Others to be free. Anonymous. Okay, let's do this.
Stop dreaming in colors, just seeing new shades of black. Keep thinking I see your face, and then the sacred tracks. A line on the table, a gun with a target, man. No need to shoot it now. I'm not infectious yet. Shit, 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 shit. I'm not infectious yet.
Heaviness there. Smile's a bit creepy. I suppose it's supposed to be. Definitely put more focus on his voice in this one. I mean, it does feel pretty obvious who it is now, doesn't it?
My God, why have you forsaken me?
A lot going on in this video. Wow.
I don't mind if you say it now. You carry me out of the fire, but nothing ever seems to change. Guess it's safe to say you hide behind a mask, but the life you had never slips away. Is it safe to say that you never fucking love me anyway?
That's got a breakdown. That's it. Okay, that didn't feel too long. That didn't feel too long. That's a positive thing. Yeah. Right. Okay, well, look, let's straight up. I didn't hate that. But I certainly didn't love that either. There are elements I did like. There are elements I didn't like. And the whole thing as, well, the overall song, I can see the insane appeal that will have to a mainstream audience and fans of alternative rock and metal. I think there are moments of genuine brilliance, but there are also moments of, oh, that's really boring and bland. And aside from, you know, certain notable aspects like a voice and a chorus, it's pretty generic. I think the visuals are a major component of what makes a song quite enjoyable. If you kind of hear that outside without the video and all of that, I think it's not as good, basically. I think alongside those incredible visuals and the storytelling going on it as well, because it certainly feels like a more personal, present track. But outside of all of that, I think it's a little bland, a little boring, generic, as I said. and certainly uninteresting by the end, particularly when those effects come in. Now, it is cool to hear there's less effects in the vocals. If there's anything President deserves to be criticised for, sometimes it's been the vocal effects in, I guess, an attempt to try and hide who it is. I think here it's fairly obvious. I'm not, like, super knowledgeable about Charlie Simpson's voice, but I think that's definitely Charlie Simpson's voice. And I'm not alone on it. You've got to look at the comments on the YouTube's video to confirm that fact. Again, going back to what I said before, I don't really care. It means nothing to me who's behind the mask. It's about the music and how that ties into the overall narrative. Here's an attempt, I think, to not necessarily explain it, but just to kind of give you a bit more insight into what's going on in the president mindset. And that's a cool thing. And like I said, visually, it's very impressive. Even vocally, lyrically, you can kind of hear and get the point of it. There's a lot of passion behind it, particularly when he hits the chorus. And his voice is really strong. The soaring chorus, the heavier bit, the breakdown at the end was very cool. But it's all very familiar. Very generic. There's nothing about this track that I thought was particularly unique. If I didn't know who I was listening to, I might necessarily not be able to tell you. That's a bit of a worry for me personally, but I do think it's the kind of track that go very well live, and it's going to have an insane amount of appeal. It already does have a huge amount of appeal based off the views, and I can't see that changing anytime soon, considering it's only 18 hours into it. But me personally, I'm fine with it. Again, you know what? We know what's happening. My opinion hasn't been changed either or. I'm not any more pro-president. I'm not any more anti-president. You know, I'm still as intrigued to see them at Takedown. I am going to see them at Takedown. There is no question. I'm presuming or thinking that maybe the headliners don't clash fully, because I can't imagine they might want to get a full house for Takedown for president, but then that might be like, there's too many people there, you can't really do that. But either way, like, I'm planned to go see president, at least watch a significant portion of the set to frame an opinion on it. So nothing has changed. Nothing has changed except I've heard, just listened to, and we together have checked out this track, and I've come away going, okay, there's good elements, there's bad elements, and the overall thing just sits in the middle for me, where I get it, I totally do, and I support it. I totally support it. Nothing wrong with, you know, this kind of music, particularly ones that will have mass mainstream appeal, and that is what we have here. Yeah, it's not the most enlightened opinion. I don't think it's the most exciting. Maybe you want me to sit here and scream about how terrible they are. It's not going to happen. Maybe you want me to sit here and scream about how brilliant they are. That's not going to happen either. I hope, again, as always, to have my mind changed, not only by the live performance, but as I hear more music. But right now, it sits squarely in the middle. I don't really care about president. Maybe that's the best way to put it. I don't really care that much about president, but I can see why many do, and many more will. Where do you sit on this one? You know what to do. Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. We really do appreciate it. If you like what you've seen, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does make a difference. Of course, you can find us at gbhbl.com and across almost all social media platforms, so do check us out there. If you really want to support us though, consider buying us a coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you very much.